Hello again, it's your favorite realtor, Ronnie Gilmer, licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, back with another down payment assistance video. And yes, currently, right now, the state of Maryland is on fire when it comes to down payment assistance, grants, closing cost assistance. And today we're talking about the George Mason Mortgage, which is a subsidiary of United Bank. Now, if you're interested in checking out their website, it's gmmllc.com. And of course, as you know it, I'll put the link in the description and in the first comment for you to check out. But before you do, let's talk about the details and actually understand how this down payment assistance program that they have works. So if you're on their website, you can head over to where it says financing your home, and then you can scroll down to first time home buyer. Now, if you scroll down, they have a section that says GMM grants, which is for down payment and closing cost assistance programs. Now, I'm only going to discuss these two grants, and you can feel free to browse their website or contact them if you have any further questions. But I just think there are some things that are pros and cons of these grants that you should understand as a buyer before you proceed. But before I get to that, one good thing about the George Mason Mortgage Company is that they are also registered with the Maryland Mortgage Program. So yes, they have their own grants and their own down payment assistance, but they also have access to state programs. And as I've said several times on this channel, the state programs will always be the best programs. The reason why is because the programs are, number one, they're forgivable, and number two, for the most part, they're forgivable. And number two, you will not have to pay taxes on the money that comes from the state of Maryland. Okay. And we'll talk about that in a second. So they have two programs. They have the Welcome Home Grant, and then they have the Journey Home Grant. Okay. So let's just start with the Welcome Home Grant. So if you click on it, it gives you a lot of the details. So as you can see here, it's up to $10,000 in down payment assistance and closing costs. Okay. So this program is available for purchase and refinance. And it has to be a primary residence, meaning you're going to have to live there. It's going to have to be, not your forever home, but, it's going to have to be where you plan to live, and it's not for investment purposes. Now, as you can see, no mortgage insurance required. So when you have let's just say you can use an FHA, you're going to have mortgage insurance. So you're going to have your mortgage, your taxes, your homeowner's insurance, and then there's an extra payment called PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. So with this, you can remove, possibly, if you qualify, that mortgage insurance portion, which will make your mortgage cheaper. Okay. And the insurance is to insure the money. Now, the program is only available in select markets. Household income limits apply. Gift funds can be used. So for example, if your parent or guardian, or if you have brother or sister, aunt, uncle that want to give you money towards the purchase of a home, you can also use that money in addition to this. Then it says home ownership counseling certificate required prior to closing if a first time home buyer. So, you may have to talk to somebody over the phone, over the computer. You may have to attend a class in order to, get access to the money. Now, there's something that I want you to understand in reference to this program. Of course, we got to read the fine print. Of course, as always, subject to credit approval. Okay, that's one thing, of course, you have to qualify for. But here's one other thing that is in the finer details that I think you should pay attention to, so that moving forward, just in case you use this program and you're not caught off guard later. And that is, grant program may be considered taxable income. A 1099 miscellaneous may be issued. You should consult your tax advisor. So for example, if you make $50,000 a year and you use this program and they give you $10,000, well, you now make $60,000 per year and you will be taxed as such. Okay. So that is the only con, in my opinion, to this program. The other programs where the money that is issued by the state do not issue a 1099 miscellaneous, and it is not considered taxable income. For example, the program where the state of Maryland will pay off your student loans. them paying off your student loans will not be considered taxable income. That is a favor that they're doing for you. Okay. Now, with that understood, let's head over to the other program. Okay. The Journey Home Grant. Now, this grant, as you can see, is up to $10,000, just like the other. This grant has no lien required on the property. So for the reason why they're saying this is because, so for example, with the state programs, they'll put a lien on the property for 5 years because they want you to hold on to the property for at least 5 years, and then the money is completely forgiven. And they prorate it every year. Okay. So if they give you 10 grand, if the state of Maryland gave you 10 grand and they divided the 10,000 into 5, right? Every year, $1,500 or so will be forgiven. Okay. And they call it a lien against the property. So if you try to sell it, and when you do sell it, the title company will do something called a title search, and they'll be able to see that you owe the state of Maryland money. But in the case of this money is not a lien against the property. Okay. Again, gift funds can be used. Okay. And can be used in conjunction with other down payment assistance programs. So like I mentioned, George Mason is a part of the Maryland mortgage program. So that means that you could use their $10,000 and maybe grab one or two other state of Maryland programs and combine them. And who wouldn't want to buy a home and not put any money down and have the money be forgiven or not have to be paid back to the source? Keep that in mind. Household income limits may apply. And again, you should reach out to a loan officer to get the exact limits. They're very helpful, and there are a lot of them that are accessible through the George Mason mortgage. This program is only available in select market areas, and home buyer education may be required. And home buyer education, again, is a class. And also in the fine print, as I've said before, grant program may be considered taxable income. So if you get $10,000 from them and you make $50,000 a year, you now make $60,000 a year. Okay. I just want to emphasize that so that nobody is caught off guard at a later date. Now, both programs mentioned, this program is only available in select markets. Okay. Now I want to highlight this as I'm currently assisting a buyer in using this program. The lenders have a list that they can send your agent, okay, which is hopefully me, that has all of the homes, whether it's condos, co-ops, which are very similar to condos, townhomes, single family homes in certain zip codes, certain areas, certain counties, where this program can be used. Okay. And just from looking at the list, DC is available, Maryland, Virginia, Montgomery County, PG County. There isn't really, I didn't see any county limitations from the list that I was sent. So myself or your agent can actually go through the list based on the homes that you like and search the list and see if it's on their list of homes that, that these grants can be used on. Okay. Now you can get a mortgage from them and use it anywhere you want. But if you want to use the actual grant, it's only for specific markets. Okay. And like I said, I just from looking at the list, I don't see anything that is like that where it doesn't work, if that makes sense. Okay. So it's pretty easy for us agents. If you send me a home you like, I can actually look on the list and see if that home is on the list and to see if it qualifies. Okay. For the most part, you'll run into trouble with condos with these things because they don't want you to move into an area, right? And when it comes to condos, if let's just say, for example, the people in the neighborhood aren't paying their condo fees, then you can't use some of these programs because they don't want to get stuck with the property. They rather, if something bad were to happen, like foreclosure or something like that. Okay. So I hope this is helpful. I just wanted to bring you all an additional down payment assistance program with money, that you can use towards your down payment, towards your closing costs. Also, if they give you the $10,000, any money left over will automatically be credited to your closing costs. So this is right here is a game changer, and it can be helpful to a lot of people that are looking to buy a home in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia markets. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.